Hello everyone, welcome to this channel. I am Lilly, and in this video I'm going to do a thorough playthrough for the very new players that has no clue what they are doing. We're going to go over how to decide where to start a game and also of course go over the whys. I will also go through the guided tutorial with you guys and fill out whatever it does not teach you so that you are better prepared to be on your own once you've started your tribe. Get your coffees and let's get started. So this is the European map. We have the entirety of Europe to play with. We do, however, have a limited space where we can place our tribes and also migrate within. So this is the selection, the region square, I call it. And this region square will tell you where your tribe will land and how far you can migrate after you first landed. You can migrate as many times as you want and wherever you want, but it has to be within this square. Right, so you see in the middle there's this black cross. That is the exact point where your tribe will land every time. And the square shows the entirety of the area where you can migrate within after you have landed your tribe. So I can show you that when we land. So this is the default landing zone. This is region 2, which is the most temperate and lenient zone there is. The game has much more probability of thriving vegetables and stuff in this area because it's not too hot and it's also not too cold. So it's very temperate, and a lot of the plants we have in game thrive really well in these temperatures. So then we are going into what our region is. So the upper region here is region 1, and this is the very hardcore region. If you're going to start in 10k BC, you should really know what you're doing before you go up there. So when you are new, you should try to aim for our region 2 area, which is the entirety here, because this is so temperate that you will be allowed to make mistake without eradicating your tribe. And then you have region 3, which is below, and this is where it can be really warm, and due to that the ice age barely touched these areas in Europe. They started to develop much sooner than, for instance, Norway, who partially is still in the last ice age. So Norway didn't come out of the ice, or at least to a point where people could live there, until roughly 11,000 BC. And then it was mostly the coastals on the southern, eastern, and partially on the western parts of the coast. So if you want to start up in the north, even in beginners, you will notice how little you have that you can harvest and how little the vegetation will thrive. You do of course have some cold temperature harvests like kale. Kale is quite happy with cold, but the rest will not be super happy. Right, so we are going to start in region 2 because I want to show you players where it is lenient to start and what you can expect from the game as a new player. So if we go more south, then we will have that a lot of the vegetables that we have thriving in region 2 will have it too hot to thrive very well down here. So if you want to have the most food possible and the easiest gameplay to learn from, to not be throttled completely by the environment, you should stay in region 2. Region 2 is huge. It's not like you're out of places to go. It's the biggest region, absolute biggest region. And also, due to that, the majority of all discoveries came from over here. Due to that, they basically had no ice age. They had a culture long before we ran around with feathers in our hats. That means that they learned stuff much sooner than us. So the more to the east and southern you go, the closer you will be to the more Near East, Mesopotamia, Iran, and these places. You will learn things faster. So if we parked our bombs down here, we would learn agriculture we would have the chance to learn agriculture between 7 and 5-ish K BC. It's not all are the same. Some could be very quick getting it, and some are unlucky and have to wait. That's just the way it is. Not all tribes knew everything at the same time as everybody else, yeah? And the game emulates this perfectly. But if we go up here, we will be lucky if we get it before 3500 BC. By 4000 BC, most of Europe had not only agriculture, but they also had different types of livestock. So we are going to be somewhere in the middle. We are going to go to Switzerland. This is a favorite of mine because of the mountains. And I want water. You should always aim for water, whether it be coast or river. Coast with a delta will have fiber by the river, it will have reed, and it will have clam up the river, it will have clam in the ocean, and it will have more fish pools in the ocean, and of course less in the rivers. The rivers have less fish pools than the ocean, just remember that. And yeah, so now we see the black square is straight on where I want to be. I want to be inside all the mountains. So this is the setup we're going to use. You normally have that you start on default either Mesolithic 7K BC, or you start in 4750 BC, which is Neo default. But we want Meso culture as well as the Neo culture, but we don't want to play too long so that we never get into Neo. Ergo, I'm putting it on 5000 BC. The game normally starts on spring, but spring is the season with the least food. Even winter has more because hazelnuts will survive over winter. So in spring you basically have strawberries and that's it. The best time to start is autumn, because autumn will grant you a really nice starter feast. A starter feast is the harvestable resources all ripe and ready for you, untouched until you land and get them. So you will have, first you will have from the previous season of survivable food, and then you will have what is coming in season as you land. So you get the starter feast, you get double up basically. Not all will survive winter though, but the majority actually will. The majority will. But it will only be the first year. After that, it's And we're doing beginners. We're not going to do sandbox because I can teach you nothing about it because you insta build. It's for those who just want to have fun and build. Right, and I am going to do slow because slow will show the most correct way to do farming without stress. If you want to do higher speed, you will have to use a lot more people to get your farms done. The good thing about playing fast is that you also need to feed your people 4 times less per month, while you need to feed them 6 times playing slow. But I prefer slow above anything. Normal speed is 2 sleeps per month, and of course you feed them 4 times per month. So they eat in the morning and they eat in the evening. So we want to go slow. And we are going to have the tutorial on, because the guided tutorial will teach you the basics of how to start, but it will not go into any kind of depth. And I have seen over and over again people who are not understanding quite that you need to do a little bit more than just what the basic tutorial is teaching you. This game might be easy to learn basics, but it's not easy to learn all the intricacies of everything and how everything hangs together. Like, I have yet to see a single player managing to do the policies correctly for both small, medium and large long-term sedentary tribes. So we're going to go into the policies as well. I also feel that the workforce division, how players are dividing their workforce on what is needed and what is being used in tribe, is very often a hit and miss. In beginners, you can get away with not having the full insight or understand the intricacies, But if you're going to play hardcore, you must master both policies and using your workforce correctly. But this is for those of you who have just started. So if there are any hardcore players or any seasoned players that are watching this video, just keep in mind that I'm not trying to tell you that you don't know how to play. I'm trying to teach the new players how to play. Yeah, so you probably know the majority of what I'm saying anyway. Yeah, but yes, we want to go to Switzerland. So here we should, in 5K BC, we should be just about time to get agriculture. But we still have 100% Mesolithic culture. So this is a bit interesting, isn't it? That you have in Switzerland 5K BC, you have 100% Mesolithic culture, and nothing has reached you yet from the Near East. But that is because you didn't start before now. If you started in 8K BC, you will probably have agriculture already. Yeah? So don't hang yourself up in the time you start, because you can't do that, because you haven't had anyone come to visit your tribe, because you don't have a tribe. Yeah? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? It makes sense to me. Right, let's do this. And the tutorial is in English. So I'm going to try to not speak over the poor dude. Yeah, let's go.
Welcome to the Ancient Cities guided tutorial.
Oh, that was quick. It's like, I think it might be starting a bit too soon. Oh, she looks old. Oh gosh, do we have a horrid tribe? Anyway, it is what it is. Now I'm going to show you your square. So where we are now is where the black cross placed us. This is where we aimed for. We actually aimed for the river, but we didn't quite hit it. We are in the bit in the mountains, but it's going to take like an hour to walk down there. It's no big deal. No big deal. So when you are moving around or migrating, you need to remember that people also eat when you travel. So if you eat up your food, they will start dying on the travels. Don't do that. Okay, so now I'm going to go around here and show you. See this? The red? This is the limit of the square. This is the square, and it shows all the places you can migrate. We have ocean, we have rivers, we have several types of woodlands, we have mountains, and we will have snow as well in winter for sure. You can see you have plenty places to settle, so you can migrate anywhere within this circle. So now I just need to, oh no, where's my tribe? I can't double click because you don't have access to the game or any controls while the online tutorial is going. So I need to, oh, there it is. Phew. So don't do what I do. Right, got it.
Currently your tribe is migrating around. For the tribe to survive, a settlement needs to be founded. You now have to choose a place for it.
Right, and we are going to go to the river.
You can use WASD or arrow keys to move the camera, Q or E keys to rotate, and the mouse wheel to zoom up or down.
You can also use the mouse to the edges. Oh, I have two screens, never mind. To that edge, and I need to go high up to that edge. So if you have two screens, you can aim where you want the going over to work and to not work. So in my middle, it works. What my height and my lower does not work. So then I can use that to control where I'm going. Right. Up and down with the mouse button, yes. Let's
left click on the migration button. This will let you choose a location to move your tribe and start a new settlement.
Exactly. Now we are going to get our bumps.
Choose a suitable location such as a coastal area or by a river.
I want to be by
mouse over the terrain and left click to confirm a location and migrate there.
I apologize for interrupting you, dude, with your posh accent. Where you from? So we want river. We want lots of river. And we want flatlands, because we want to be able to put our houses. So we don't want to go here, and we can't, because red X tells you it is not possible or appropriate to migrate there. So let's go here. Oh gosh, I can't wait to see the horrendous tribe. Do we have a good tribe problem?
Now let's wait until the tribe reaches the selected location.
Ta-da! You can see, did you see the knowledge? We already actually have agriculture in the tribe. But we've heard of it, Someone has seen something, but we need a Neolithic migrant to come tell us, yeah, this is how you do it. I know you've seen it, but you still don't know how to do it. So yeah, here we go. If we are lucky, we could get the migrant within 500
Now
years.
you can explore the terrain and left-click to select where you want to deploy your tribe. The best option is on the coast, by a river or by a forest.
Yes,
You
I
can
agree.
press the shift key while moving to go faster.
I can't get that to work, but maybe you guys can. Right, so... Oh, look at the mountains. Da, da, da. There's a small hill here. Oh, and two thingies they can sit on. Oh, there's also flat land there. This is my issue. If the place I land has tons of options, I run around like a headless chicken finding a better place. Oh, a better place there. You know, the grass is always greener on the other side. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to find this hill. Ta-da!
People don't like sleeping in the open, so let's start our settlement with a fireplace.
Yes.
Click the build
Oops.
button.
Yeah. I need to not talk over him. Right, the build button. This is where you find everything you need to build.
Only known buildings in your region are currently shown. Those that you know how to build are available. As history progresses, many more will become available. Buildings are sorted by their main function. Left-click on the Service tab.
So here you can see what you can build. The red ones are the objects that the tribe knows exist, but they do not have the knowledge yet to build them. So this is something that we can learn with discovering things ourselves in the tribe. We can practice and then learn these things without migrants. Yeah? So you're not having to wait for migrants to get any kind of progression. You can progress yourself. Yeah? Let's do
Now
this.
left-click over the fireplace.
I don't like using this fireplace. It's easy to build and only needs sticks, but the unrest people get from sleeping in it is minus 61%, and that it's plus 29. Gosh, me and maths. Way too much unrest. So I will
Move the mouse over the map to place the fireplace, then left-click to confirm the placement. You can use R and T keys or Alt plus mouse wheel to rotate the building. The fireplace has been created in the tribe and its tasks will be communal. Now right-click on the mouse to end placing fireplaces.
Right. I do not like using these simply because even though they're easy to build and demands little materials, they can only take a few people to sleep by them, and they are giving more unrest than the big fireplace. Yeah. You don't have to place this one down. You can get out of the tutorial by pressing escape and then do as you see fit. You're not locked to do the tutorial. Right. So now we're going to right-click the mouse to get rid
Left-click
of
to
it.
select the Policy tab.
Now it's time for Policy tab.
You can change the communal policy so that more or less time is devoted to communal tasks during the day.
Here's the trick that a lot of people still struggle with. What does this mean? This is for communal tasks only. What you see here are 3 people. If we think about it, if we move the slider all the way to the right, we have 3 people. But what does it signify? It means more people will do communal tasks. But what is a communal task? A communal task is a task that is not dedicated to a single group, only the tribe as an entity. That's the easiest way to say it. Got it. Got it.
Let's create a gathering group to make them search for raw materials.
Yes.
Please, open the work group selection menu.
We need to do that. The game needs to have work groups, otherwise nothing gets done.
Choose the gathering group from the group list. You can rename the group to better identify it by clicking on the current name and typing a new one. You can do it later.
I recommend everyone to rename their groups with the task they have in the group, like craft the material, for instance. I write craft the mats. It means that this group will gather materials for crafters. If you do this for every group you have, You will by glance see what groups you have when we open up the detachable windows. We're going to go over them in a bit.
Let's create some tasks for the group by opening the configuration panel. Only people in a work group will perform its tasks.
This is important. You will not have anyone not in a group do the tasks that belong in a group. So if you have no people in the group, the tasks in the group will never get done.
You can select as many resource types as you need to be retrieved and stockpiled by the group. Left-click on the sticks to create a new task.
So when we click the sticks, we are then telling the gatherers that will be joining this group that this is your task and nothing else, and this is what they will be doing. It is a little bit lacking in information, so I'm going to sell a little bit more. You cannot add all materials to all groups, all 8 gathering groups. There is a limit. Yeah, so you can't fill them with everything to make sure everyone gets everything in. Doesn't work like that. You will reach the limit. Right, but for now,
notice how the new task is now listed in the group.
yep,
This task will be performed only by the group members, unlike the tasks created in the tribe which are communal.
so a communal task means it is not in a group. A group task means it is in a group. Only people who are in groups can do the group tasks, but people who are in groups can also take some time off to go do communal tasks. A communal task is free for all. Everyone can do those. Yeah? Got it.
You can set a limit to the resources stored for this task by pressing the infinite button. You can try this later.
This is very, very important. Have limits on everything you do. In the start, when you have a small tribe, like this is like, is it 10 people I have? 10 or 13? You cannot waste workforce to get in materials that you do not need. You have a set limit, and then the people will gather materials till they meet the limit, and then they will move on to other tasks, perhaps in other groups or communal tasks that are important to get done as well. If you leave it with no limits, they will gather forever, and the utter majority will be wasted. So don't do that. Got it.
Priority control in groups and buildings allows you to manage what has to be done first. We leave the default priority for tasks in this group.
So this is also really, really important, because if you have a low priority and a busy tribe, nobody will join this group. If you have a default, then people will choose by suitability of task, vicinity, and time of day. Time of day is because if they start walking to the edge of the flipping map, almost right around the time where work hours are over, they are wasting their time because they will never reach the target before work hours are done. So this is why system is in place, to make sure that people will only do tasks that system is calculating will be done before work hours are over. And this is something you will see a lot of in the larger long-term sedentary tribes, because they will have longer and longer to go to get the materials they need, simply due to that we are not very good with making sure that we don't over harvest. Ergo, plants will spend longer time to get back into the amounts it was in the start. So this is also why it's very, very important to have limits. Do not over harvest if you plan on staying for decades in the same locality. So high priority will get people first. Low priority will only get people who are not needed in the high priority groups. That's it. That's all there is to it. Got it.
This control allows you to open or close job positions. Suitable workers will take them automatically. There is currently one position open. You need to adjust this as the tribe grows and need more resources.
Exactly. This is also very important. If you are only having one task and you only need a small amount of this, there's no need to have 1,000,000 workers. You are wasting workers. There's no point. So have small openings, like 1 or 2 people, depending on the size of your tribe. And then you adjust as you get more people. So if you start in 10 KBC with 7 people, you don't put 4 people to gather sticks. You put 1 person to gather sticks and logs. I will show you more about this as we go along, because this is really intricate, because you need to know what you actually need. So even though you know the basics of putting up a gathering group, you still need to know how much do I need and when. Let's move on. Got it.
A gatherer group is currently selected, and every element you create while selected is assigned to this group.
So what that means is simply that now that this group is the open page, it means whatever we build will be their responsibility. I recommend against that 100%. If you are going to use a group to build stuff, use a builders group, nothing else.
Let's build a storage area in the gatherers group. This allows you to organize your resources. Open the building selection list again.
Okay, step 1 here to say is that I do not recommend to build anything, even if it's storage, in any of the groups.
Left click on the storage tab. Now left click over the storage area. Now left click and drag to draw the storage area over the terrain.
So you see you have options of how you want it to look. You can either have freehand, which is this, you can have it in a circle or in a square. You are free to change how you want to do it. You don't have to do it in any particular way. You can put it
You don't
exactly
need to
as
create
you
storages
see
for
fit.
every resource. Your workers will bring them to the camp anyway. Now right click on the mouse to end creating storage areas.
So storage areas is not needed to get resources to camp. It is only needed if you deem it needed. By that I mean, if you want to organize your tribe differently, if you want your crafters to sit together with all the materials in one place, yeah, you place storage areas, because then they will put it there, so you are saving time and not wasting the crafters' time where they have to go back and forth to find material far away in camp. So this is a good idea. Always have storage areas if you wish efficient crafters, and place fireplaces, houses, and you know, benches, things they can sit on close by, so they don't waste so much time walking around. Okay.
We need to configure the recently created area. Left click on it to select it and see its properties. Left click on the configuration button to open the resource panel. Now select the sticks from the list. You can set storages to work on store and extract or store only modes. Resources in store only storages will only be used for planting, trading or crafting tasks.
This is important, because you will need to, especially on hardcore, you need to lock down your bones, because people hate to eat bones or the bone marrow. I don't understand why, because it's actually a delicacy. But this will help us when we are doing farming as well, because we need to save seeds so the tribe does not eat it up. But we'll get to that when we come that far. Right, got it?
The storage area has been created in the gatherers group. Left click the tribe emblem. This will ensure the tribe will be responsible for the elements you create from now on.
Yeah, that is correct. So when we double click or single click this emblem, it means that we now
Let's
have
create a hunting group to get some meat, raw
the
pelt
tribe
and bones.
page.
Open
Yeah.
the group selection menu by left clicking on the group creation button. Now choose the hunting group from the group list. The task list for the group is currently empty. Let's solve that by opening the task selection panel. Left click on the highlighted button.
Okay, so it shows that this task list is empty, but this is not the task list. This is something in the tutorial that I don't agree with. It is not a task list at all. The task list is here,
Left click to select a specific species to hunt.
and you don't have to click anything to get the tasks. You can ignore it 100%. What happens when you do ignore it is that they hunt all species. If you want them to only hunt a few,
Left-click the tribe emblem to return to tribe selection.
You click the ones you want them to hunt. But you do not need to do any configuration on your hunters at all. They will hunt everything on the selection list if you do not pick one. So that's a little bit misleading. New players might actually struggle with getting enough meat because they only have boars, and when they kill the 20 that are roaming around, they don't remember that they need to go in and add more animals or remove the wild boar. So this needs to not be this way, but yeah, it is what it is. And now we're going to go back to tribe control.
You need to provide weapons for the hunting group. A group of crafters is needed for that. Open the group selection menu by left-clicking on the group creation button.
Let's do that.
Now choose the crafting group from the group list.
This is very important. In the start of any tribe, you can get away with having like one crafting group, but as your tribe grows, if you want to have an efficient tribe, you need more crafters that take care of some of the tools and materials that the others do not.
Left-click on the highlighted button.
Let's do.
Left-click on the Find Stick icon. This will prepare raw sticks so you can use them to build wooden spears.
So the first folder shows the materials you can make. To manage to make fine sticks, you need sticks from the ground, like raw sticks. And to manage to make rope, you will have to gather plant fiber. So even if you task them to do fine sticks and fiber, plant or rope, they will still need the raw sticks that the gatherers get, and they will also need you to add plant fiber to the gathering group. Otherwise there will be no ropes. So we're going to have fine sticks.
Select the Tools tab.
And the Tools tab is where you find your other tools and weapons.
Left-click on the wooden spear.
So here you can see the tools that we have available. We have the wooden spear, we have the axes, and also the wooden trident. And the trident is used for fishing. The only thing that can be used for fishing is this one. You can use nothing else for fishing except your hands. But your hands can be fairly slow. So if you can make a trident, get it done. The wooden spear is used for several of your tool types. So you need to always have more wooden spears than you actually need. We're going to get back to that around farming time, because that is when it's really urgent.
Left-click to close the task window. Click with the left mouse button on the infinite button to limit the production to one stored element. Later you can change this limit with the plus and minus buttons or by changing the number directly. Left-click the tribe emblem to return to tribe selection.
So here you have the option. For instance, if you have a 10-man tribe and you have 2 hunters and 2 fishermen and you have nothing else weapon or tool, then you should make at least 4. So, of course, that means that the fishermen will take 2 to spear fish, and the hunters will need 1 each, otherwise they cannot hunt. So I would put this in this tribe, I would put it on 10, and I will put the fine sticks on 25. But I would have 2 workers. Let's go back to tribe.
If you want to have at your fingertips information about available resources or the tribe's working groups, you can activate these information panels here.
So these 2 are the detachable windows. It used to be with the knowledge as well, but the knowledge is now a part of the static UI. So these 2 we are going to place around as we see fit. That is up to player how they would like to have them.
The tribe bar also shows the knowledge of the tribe and the level they are at. Different tools and constructions require certain levels of tribe knowledge to be created.
Correct. We will go over that more as we go along, because you will not have everyone managing to do the same thing. Some people will have more knowledge than the others, and others will need to learn.
The tribe's bar summarizes its current status and the problems to be solved using colored icons. It is important to take this into account when taking your next actions.
What we see here with the die is simply the resources that you lack to complete whatever you've placed down. Right now we don't have sticks to do the fireplace, and this is why we have the die, otherwise it would not be there. And the smile just shows the status of happiness in your tribe. And the green pointer there shows that this is beginner difficulty. If everything you hover over will have a tooltip explaining to you exactly what it is. Got it?
Your tribe starts with most materials to build a pelt hut, except raw stones, so you must create a new task in your current gatherer group to gather them. You can then place the pelt hut down by going to the Build tab and select it from the list.
Yeah, this is important. A little bit misleading, because when you hover over the pelt hut, it says portable housing. It is portable, but you can't just put it down when you come to a new place. You need to still do gathering work. So be aware that you can't just take it down and then immediately put it back up. You need raw stones. You need to gather those, yeah?
You can also continue learning more from the game's main tutorial. It's full of useful tips and tricks.
Got it! So now we are back to having tribe control. And this is where we're going to start playing. We have, is it 13? A 13 population tribe, and we are 100% Mesolithic. And my tribe leader is not particularly strong. As you can see, she has restrictions, which I don't love because I don't like limits. But I am going to put labor age fairly high. Labor age is fairly high because we need every able body to help build up the camp in time for winter. We don't want people to be annoyed with us because they have nowhere good to sleep. I'm going to leave the labor time as it is, because the more you increase labor time, the more you exhaust your people. You can get away with using fairly high labor time in beginners for many months, but you will see fitness going down in especially your kids and the elders. So be very careful with how you use labor time. Rationing is something we should use only in the strictest emergencies. And by that, I mean when it's actually famine incoming. If you start to fiddle too much with rations, you could end up with killing the young kids because they don't get enough calories. So be very careful. You can try things out yourself and see how tribe reacts, because not all the tribes will be the same, okay? Okay, so the first thing I want to do is place down a proper fireplace and remove this. And then this group is not going to have these. So that is how you change the group things are in. If you want things to be in the tribe communal, then you open the main tribe page and you use the assign button and you click any object that you want the tribe to take care of. Yeah, and this one is going to be deleted because we are not going to bother with any kind of storage to start with. So here we can see we have a hunter group, but we don't have tools. And you can see these guys are lacking materials to do the tools. So this guy is not going to be alone anymore. I'm going to give him one more. He's going to get logs, because we need logs for the fireplace. I'm going to have him get 2, and he's going to gather 50 of the sticks. And then we're going to have one group, which this is how I do it. You don't have to do it, but this is how I see how many are actually free. Lowest priority groups means that if there are people in it, they have nothing else to do that has any higher priority. So this group can be a support group or just a group where you get extra food. So we're going to see what locality has. What I can tell you right away is that we are too far north to have the Caribbean pine nuts. Mediterranean, I mean. Caribbean. The pine nut will only thrive near the Mediterranean, and we are too far up in Switzerland, actually in the mountains. So if I see one here, then that is a bug. Definitely a bug. So that one we can take away. We also have error report on meat, but that doesn't mean we don't have meat in the area. It means we don't have meat yet, because there are no self-fed animals, nor have anyone killed any animals yet. So that will come. therefore we leave it. Here we have clams. Clams will not be found here. Do you know why? Because clams only exist by the coastline or near the coastline. So if you have a river delta going into the ocean, you could get clams up to a few kilometers in that river, but nowhere else. Yeah, so that is going to be removed as well. So this place does still not have peas. Fine. And what else does it not have? No, that's it. It's only peas. Let's go see if it's got any of the other crop types. Does it have flax? It does. Does it have wheat? It does. So it has wheat, it has flax, but it's also not having beets, which is also a crop type. But this is why we have regional tribes. We're going to do those later. First, we're going to build the camp. I know there's a lot of information in a very short time, which is why I'm not going to make several hours long videos. I'm going to make them short so that people can actually remember what they have seen in the video. So now we have made the fireplace. That is the first thing. And then we're going to make another communal task. We're going to put up a peltat. So I'm going to close down the tutorial for now, and then I'm going to open up the resource window, because the resource window will tell us how much resources we have. We have 12 leather, 30 fine sticks, and 97 dried fish. So this means we can have several days where we don't need to gather food, but we should instead gather material to build up the camp. Yeah, so keep an eye on how low it goes, and when it is around 1 or 2 meals left, then it's time to activate fishermen, hunters, and normal gatherers for food. But for now, you do not need it. What you do need is people to build your camp. Right, so let's do 2 of these. Let's not put them very close to the fireplace, which is the focal point, because you can see we have already things that are so much better that the peltot is minus 34. So we are going to try to avoid it as much as we can and build. This one is only 25, this one is minus 25, and this is only minus 15. So we will, in the end, when we have the materials, pick the least hostile housing, because that means there will be less unrest for your people. I'm going to leave the policies as they are at the moment. Communal task in the middle means that group tasks and communal tasks are equally prioritized. This means that you can send out people to gather materials and stuff for your tribe. So actually I'm going to put this to 1, I think, because I'm going to do a bit of cheating. I'm going to cheat a bit. You guys don't have to do it. I will. What I'm going to do is find raw stones. Here. I'm going to take 2. And now this is a task for tribe. It's a communal task. So I'm going to remove the cropping, because we're not looking to crop. We're only looking to gather. We are going to gather 2 stones. And we're going to gather a few sticks. So we're going to do a little bit of this. Take away the chopping. We don't want to chop trees, and we don't want to crop anything. We just want to gather. There you go. Now we have those 2 up. And this is what we're going to do today. That's all we're going to do today. You guys are not getting anything yet, and you're also not doing this. We're going to do that later. Oh yeah, I was going to show you this. So the reason why you might see that you have both wild sheep and wild goat in this place is because we are fairly high up in the landscape. Our elevation is fairly high, and we have mountains. You won't find goats or sheep, for that matter, in low elevation or areas where that is too flat. They just do not thrive there. Yeah. So that's it. So what we're going to do now is let them work in peace. We want to get up the fireplace, and we want to get up those 2 peltats first. And just leave things the way they are. Don't make more groups. Oh, we need to think of a name. I know what name it is. This is going to be the tribe that has 2 left feet. I think it fits well. Start a tribe. we know not what we are doing. So on beginners, it's not important that you haven't managed to build everything in one day. They'll be fine with up to 6 days in the open. They don't mind that much in beginners, and hardcore you need to be a lot more careful to get it up. But they have slowed down the efficiency of people in the tribe, so it's going to be hard to get up everything you want in one day. So this is a report. You can see here it tells you, oh, we lack resources stored in the camp. But it doesn't mean we don't have the resources, just we don't have it in camp. We have tons out in the locality, out in the wild, in nature, but we just don't have anything in camp. So as soon as we have enough of those, then things will be built. We still have plenty of food. We don't need to make food, to just have people go do the gathering of stuff. So now it's only the stones left. And you need stones for both the belt huts and also for the fireplace. So they will be built as the stones come into camp. So you can see that there are plenty of people going for the materials that we lassoed in with the clear tool. So on beginners, this is not so bad. On hardcore, I would only do the fireplace. Only the fireplace, nothing else. But I also would send people out for food, because you only have 2 days worth of food, or 2 meals, 1 day worth of food in hardcore. We could of course ration, but then we are doing them a disfavor by taking away calories they need to stay strong and healthy. And also for the kids. We have only 1 kid. He's 12. Yeah, he needs all the nutrition he can get to grow. So I estimate today that the building stuff will be done. We have enough stone. I'm going to remove that. So today we're going to get all this stuff built. We just need a log. And a log is something that you guys need to go for. Oh, you're alone, aren't you? Yeah, you will get log in time. So now we're going to make some more groups. I'm going to have, let me see, crafting, you have 1. We should not have 1. We are going to have 10. And you are not going to have limited 6. You're going to have 40. And I'm going to up you so you don't go do everything else. At the moment, she doesn't have material to do anything. Oh, she has there. Yeah. Go make sticks then. Find sticks then. You can start hunting, and I'm going to allow you to hunt all the small animals, because if he is the only hunter we have, he will take days to kill the big prey. And he only runs around with a toothpick. He has a wooden spear, which is not good. It is only 50%, so he can spend days trying to kill the big prey. So be smart. Go for the smaller prey that they can actually kill in 1 day. Yeah, because you can't afford to add 15 hunters. 1 hunter is what he gets. And now we're going to make a fishing group. I'm going to leave that group alone, but I'm going to put limits, because we do not want the fish to rot, because fish will rot very, very fast in the open. So not a good idea. And then we are going to make a group. Let me see what I have. This is free for all with food, yeah. Okay, as soon as you have a log, I'm going to give you more tasks. Yeah. And you guys are going to get material for other housing types. So you guys are going to get this. And then I'm going to have 1 group that focuses on crafter mats. I should really rename all of them. It's a good idea, because when you look at the list here, you will see that the name shows underneath. And in order for you to see what they've got, you actually have to open it. So if you're smart, you rename them all. Then you know by glance what their purpose is. Like this one is free workers. And now I know, this is a free working group, yeah? And these are sticks. As soon as we can make access and can employ lumberjacks, I'm going to just leave that there and not increase it, while the lumberjacks will have an increase. Sticks, and then this one is going to be straw. So these are the ones that is going to stay the way they are, while the others we create can easily be support group. When tribe is fairly small, support group will help gather, for instance, a material that is at the moment while we're building in very high demand, so that the one or two that are dedicated to it is not enough. Then you can do support. Support also in this case means that those who don't have any other task will go do the task that still needs doing, but not in the same group. So this is a smart way to cover all the needs without overpopulating a group or without having to constantly adjust the work spots. Use support groups. Hunters are sorted. Crafters, yeah, straw, sticks. Yeah. So, yeah, and the fireplace is done. The beginner difficulty does not need religion as such. It doesn't need it yet. What you do need is graves. Graves goes under religion, but what I mean when I say religion are the praying options. They don't need the offerings yet, because beginners is fairly lenient and you can get away with not focusing on this at the moment. What you should do is to keep an eye on the elder in your tribe. You have one of 51 and you have one of 50. So these are your elders, but they will have at least 20 more years, or maybe 68 to 20 more years. 18 to 20 more years before they will die. So you have several options here. You can either wait with building graves till they are close to dying, or you can just chuck them down whenever you see fit. That is completely up to player. In beginners, you can test around and do a lot of things and see how tribe reacts, see what works best for your tribe, and find out what you like best. What setup do you want to do? Because there is no one correct way to play. You can play in many ways, because no tribe is ever the exact same, nor is every locality the exact same. Yeah, so you need to pay attention to the environment and to your tribe. How do they react to how you behave? Your actions will show in the environment and in the reaction from tribe. And that's basically it. That's all there is to it. So let's go a little bit over these reports, because they can be quite confusing. So the house goes without saying. We don't have a lot of houses. It is red. It will be red until we reach 50% or down below 50%. Because this means that the utter majority of people in your tribe has nowhere to sleep. They have a fireplace, but that does not count as a house. This counts as a housing, a dwelling, a hut. Then we have this. We cannot hunt because we still have not built enough tools. So what we see is happening now is that the fisherman has run off with the only wooden spear the tribe had. She can manage to fish without wooden spear, but she uses her hand and is much slower. So this is why she has taken it. But this also means that the hunter can do nothing, because they cannot hunt without any tools. When you see this, you know you need to wait for more tools. If you only have a very low amount of, if you have a low limit on your tools and you have more hunters and fishermen than you have wooden spears and nothing else, you really need to increase that. Increase the wooden spears. Let me see. I have 0 idle people. That means everyone is working. Right, and this one here, the stop sign, no entry or whatever it is, this shows what the locality is lacking at the moment. So now we already know that there will be no pine nuts here. We also know there will be no clams. So there's no need to tick those in because they will be constantly telling us then that cannot get them, cannot get them, cannot get them. Yeah, so here you can see what you're out of. And remember, this one will also tell you the seasonal changes. So if you see in July, no more hazelnuts, but then suddenly in October, that report goes away. That means that the hazelnuts now are coming to season. And as soon as it says we can't get more hazelnuts, it means they're out of seasons and we have harvested all up. There is nothing left to harvest in the wild. So this is an important report. If you can remember when things come into season and when they go out of season, you can min-max and fine coordinate your workforce to get everything into camp that you need before they lose their season. Yeah, so it is really intricate. This one is also intricate. This one will dedicate, or they will decide the amount of yield of everything in locality, including your farms. It will also decide how well wild animals can graze from the wild, how much food is in the wild for the animals. If you have a red, it means it is so inhospitable. It's either too cold, constantly pouring wet, or too hot. For some of the grass types to thrive, meaning your livestock and the wild animals will suffer. They will not have enough in the wild. So here you need to be careful, so you lock down and fence in not only your livestock's feeding areas, but also all your own food, because they will come steal in your camp. Wild animals will sneak into camp and steal your food. The wild boars are exceptionally bad. They will eat your bones as well. They are eatable, anything else. Just be aware. Okay. So yeah, we have a house up and we have a fireplace. So this is good. So this is a good start. Now we're also getting in a trickle of food. And as you can see, we are quite rich on it because we are so late in the timeline. So what we need to do is limit it. We do not want everything to come to camp simply because we would like some of these things to reseed and grow. And we get more the next year. So there's no need to harvest more than you can actually eat. These I want to harvest all, these I want to harvest all. Do not put limit on meat. You know why? Because if you have a stripping in your gatherer group and you put a limit, whatever they do not strip will rot away in nature. Let them strip it, let them take it home. You can either process it, dry it, or you can give it to tribe as they see fit because they love raw meat. Yeah. So these we are not going to have. We're not going to take the flax because we don't have agriculture yet. Or we have agriculture, but we don't have the Neolithic influence. We need Neolithic influence. And these are going to be limited as well. They last a long time. And we are not going to do the roots. We're going to do the roots when we have livestock. Tribe hates roots. And we're not going to do wheat because we can do nothing about it. We cannot eat the wheat sheaves. We can eat the grains, but tribe hates it so much they might actually leave you in protest. So wait with that until we have agriculture, we have Neolithic influence, and we have baking ovens. When we have ovens to bake bread, that's when we're going to do a large percentage of our crop into wheat. Because bread has a lot of calories and can support a huge population. Yeah? So now everything is in place. And you can see how many free workers we have because we have probably filled up most of the limits. I'm not going to have limits on honeycombs either because they are not many and people love them. And people, you will see, people are happily sharing that they like this and this type of food. Like this guy is fond of pears. And that gives a happiness boost. Yeah. So now we have 42 straw. So let's see what we can build of housing. We can build the straw pit hut when we have 50. Then we also need 50 sticks and 1 rope. So now we need to make sure that our crafters are making what we need them to make. So now we have secured that we have housing, and we have secured that we have some materials. So now we're gonna start doing these, and also trident so the hunters can have the spears in peace. And we're gonna give her 1 more person. So craft the mats. You are going to get fiber because now we are going to make ropes. Then you need fiber. We don't need bones yet because we cannot make bone knives. But we are going to need fine raw stones because fine raw stones are needed to make axes. But do not overharvest this. It is so easy to overharvest and then you're out. Don't build more tools than you need. Don't build 500, there's no point. Ah, look at that. So this is self-discovery. Tribe has figured out on their own how to make bone knives simply because she was practicing in making spears. Then she realized, aha, I can do this and this with bones. Then we have bone knives. So now we can also make bone knives. Bone knives are excellent for cropping. Early cropping, bone knives is as good as anything. And we're going to make 20 of these to make sure that we have good rotation. If we have good rotation, the decay will be less on them. Remember that. That's something we're going to discuss more when we come into the large tribes. Large tribes with bobs. Okay, so now we have set up the group the way we wanted it. I'm going to give you 1 more for when you need it. And straw, you are going to get 2 more. Let's see, where is my... do I have a raw stone? I don't. Let's make a raw stone. And this guy will focus on raw stone only for now because we are going to make the stone pit hut because they have the least bad sleeping quality. So we want good quality of sleep. Right, so as you can see, the only high priority I have at the moment are the crafters. The crafters will make sure that if they can craft tools for you, you will be much more efficient. They will crop faster, they will cut faster, they will fish faster, they will hunt faster. The better the tools, the faster your tribe will work. So always keep your crafters going. Even if you don't need everything they craft, keep them crafting because they will discover things on their own. Look at all these red. Tribe can discover these on their own if they just practice enough. And here we have the first group of migrants. Let's see if they are Neo or Meso. They are Neo. How do I know that they are Neo? Because they have a light complexion. That's how I know. And now we have access to farms and animals. Next time we are going to use all of these in my little tribe of 16 people. We are going to build it up bit by bit, and I'm going to show you how you start and how to make sure that your tribe survives on cultivated food. Until then, have fun and take care.